you?
I'm all right, sir. Uh, very sort of pumped up with everything that's been happening, and looking forward to being part of this organization and part of the Explorers program.
At the outset, congratulations for getting on to
Thank you
the
so much.
and
Thank you for the opportunity.
and let me tell you, this is not an interview. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
And to understand your part of the world, I was in this 60 years ago.
All
So
right.
I just want to have a more feedback to design this program appropriate for medical students. So
Of course. Right.
lately we have students from all over the world, and I thought it would be worth trying to steal your mind that where you guys are. So tell me
Absolutely.
everything about you are comfortable, and I would butt in between, but mostly I'm here to listen to you. Tell me your lifetimes, anything.
Uh, well, to give a background about myself, I'm from India. And but I've been moving around. So I was born in Japan, then I came to India for a while, then I was in the Middle East, and I've ended up in London at KCL to do medicine, and I've been here for about 2.5 years. Enjoyed my time thoroughly in medicine, and uh, have kept an open mind
Because
exploring also.
you
Sorry.
followed this gypsy heritage because your dad was working at all these places?
He was, yes. So he sort of got transferred around, changed jobs. So,
How long
uh,
you were in Japan?
so I was there for 4 years. My parents were for 6.5, 7,
And what was
and
your
then
dad doing, if I could know?
he was a banker. So my parents were both bankers at Citibank.
Oh, Citibank. So,
Yeah,
and the 4 years, how much you remember your stay in Japan? At what age you were there?
not at all. So I mean, I was born in Japan, and I don't remember much. I have a few sort of bits and pieces and habits from Japan, for
They have
example.
the same American system that are you a Japanese citizen?
I'm not, no. So they've got a very different system. They don't allow for passports on birth. Even even if you live there for 20, 25 years, it's very difficult to get a passport.
Mm.
Um, so, but that's fine.
Okay, okay.
Um,
So
yeah.
where are you from, India?
Uh, so whenever I go back, and the time that I spend in Mumbai. But my sort of parents, my father's from Lucknow and my mother's from MP, Madhya Pradesh. So that's
Okay, Lucknow,
roughly where.
where exactly you live in Lucknow?
Um, I'm not. I've forgotten now. I remember. I've forgotten. Sorry, I'm not 100%
Because
sure.
I spent
Uh,
almost 20 years in Lucknow before
really?
coming.
How come?
Yeah, I worked in India for 40 years, and my last
Right.
assignment Lucknow
Oh, amazing.
I was
My
vice
father will
chancellor
be
of, you would have heard of the medical school, medical university, King George's Medical University.
KGMC. Yeah,
Yes,
KGMC. Yeah. Oh, amazing.
that's my last stint I did as a vice chancellor in 2006, and then moved
Oh,
to.
amazing. I'll tell my father because he'll
Yeah,
be
he
uh,
would know because
yeah, very happy to have a fellow Lucknowian sort of.
right,
uh,
right. So
Really cool.
so now your parents are settled in Mumbai.
No, they're in Qatar right now. So before
Oh,
I
they are in
was here,
Qatar. Still they are
yeah,
working.
yeah. So my mother isn't working anymore, but my father's still sort of moving around in the Middle East.
Mhm. So who is in Mumbai then?
Uh, my uncle and my grandparents on my father's side. But
Okay.
sort of when I did live in India, I lived in India for about 7 years. I lived in Mumbai. So, when somebody asks, I say I'm from
And
Mumbai.
what were your options of getting in medical school? How did you?
Uh, I had NEET, and I had sort of the UK entry. And at the end, we chose sort of going to the UK.
You had which one?
NEET. I had so options. By options, do you mean where I could have gone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I had NEET. Like NEET JE, and then I applied to the UK, and I also applied.
These I didn't get. Which place is
No, the exam like NEET.
neat, 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 neat. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
You were entitled. Obviously, you had an Indian
yeah,
passport.
yeah. I was
So
entitled for that. Yeah.
how did you do in?
Um, oh, I didn't actually give it because that was peak during the COVID time. So we had
Okay.
to sort of make a decision whether I wanted to give NEET because I would have had to travel back to India at that time, or I wanted to. So
So is there exam for getting in? What's the pattern of medical education in UK? How do you get it?
So there's a entrance exam called the UCAT, which is the University Clinical Aptitude Test.
Hmm.
It's a cognitive test more than anything.
Okay.
So it's like pattern recognition, decision making, stuff like that. And the challenge of the test is that you have very limited time periods and you've got a lot of questions to answer. Um, and that's one of them, but then you also have to, they also give you sort of interview offers on the basis of your grades. So
Hmm.
over here it's A levels, but I gave the Indian curriculum. I went through the ICSC system. So those are my grades, and then of course there was an interview as well.
So where did you study in India for pre-med?
uh, I mean, I didn't do a degree before this.
No, but
So
what did you
it's
do? What was the plus two? Where did you do?
oh so I did it in Dubai since I was in the Middle East at
Okay,
that
you were
time.
in
So
right, right.
yeah.
And then, so after that, is there a physical interview also in King's College?
uh, so there used to be a physical interview, but again, that was sort of like a COVID period, so everything moved online. So I gave an online interview.
Okay, okay. And you said you are there for now 3 years or 4 years? No?
Three, 2.5, sort of going to three.
Okay,
It'll be three in September. Yeah,
okay. We had come to establish our institute there,
yeah,
and we had a very nice photograph on the Keats statue.
yeah,
Let's see to the medical college between guys and that.
yeah. And I know the statue. It's a beloved one.
Yeah. So tell me, getting into medicine, whose decision was it? Crazy decision.
It was mine. I mean, I know it's a cliche that everybody says, I wanted to become a doctor since I was in seventh grade, but I wanted to. I've always wanted to do this. Not a doctor specifically. I've always wanted to become a surgeon. So that's been since seventh grade. I've just wanted to do it. I'm happy to say there was no
Yes,
pressure
this is
from
because
my
of
parents or anybody.
you have lot of doctors in the family. You said.
No, not particularly. I mean, my uncle is a doctor. He's an ophthalmologist, and my chacha, my uncle from my father's side, he's a dentist.
Hmm.
But there are not so many doctors. I guess the real sort of reason why I wanted to do surgery is because I looked at what my father was doing, and he was basically doing a desk job where he would sit in a cabin behind a desk and type stuff. But I wanted to do something where I actually use my hands because surgery is like an art. You use your hands, you actually tend to create something. There's a lot of skill involved in it. And so, when I thought, what do I want to do 20 years down the line? I was like, surgery is cool.
Right. So is this, if I understand, is that action gives you a kick?
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I really like the fact that it's a skill based thing. So you're actually creating something. Like
Would
I don't know
you
if I'm
be
allowed.
ready? Yeah, yeah. Whatever you want to.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do, but that's
Yeah.
so basically I've grown up making Lego, and the whole reason why that's so relevant is because you use your hands to create a model. You're using
Okay.
your hands, real skill.
I'll bring in something for you. In
Mhm.
UK, there is a class of locum surgeons because your healthcare is really overburdened and they
Yeah.
have no solution to fix it up. Waiting lists are 6 million
Mhm.
cases.
Yep.
So many years ago, they hired people to do locum for surgery.
Right.
And these people would not see any patient before or after.
Yeah.
From morning to evening, whatever comes their way, they'll operate.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of job you would like to do?
Um, it's a tricky question. Do you mean, for example, that I like
A
to
lot of
do a
action,
job?
only action.
Yeah,
Is
but
that,
not much patient.
yeah, no patient,
Yeah.
Somebody works
Uh,
up these patients and puts them on the list. You come at 8 o'clock in the morning and operate till six
yeah.
o'clock and go away.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think, the initial
So
sort of
I want you to
aim was,
revisit this excitement of action into something else. I know that it is
yeah,
not action, it
right.
is action to achieve something.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Is
I
that
think,
something, is that something, the very feeling of helping a person with the pain or
yeah,
improving the quality of life of a patient?
I think this is something that I've discovered after I did my sort of clinical rotations, because this is something I always say it's a privilege to sort of be a doctor,
Right.
because you are given an access into a patient's life, an unprecedented access into a patient's life. And
Mhm.
people trust us because when, for example, they're put under general anesthetic, they are vulnerable in front of you. You are in a very privileged position in society. And so I think that aspect of, taking someone's pain and working towards it, but working in a skilled manner to solve it
Yeah.
is something that's amazing.
See, because what you need to realize, and you realize it well, what you said described is apt situation that somebody is trusting you so much
Yeah.
makes you over responsible.
Yeah.
And in England and Europe, it's a different kind of patient uh, clientele you have. But in India, 90% of them would not decide for themselves. They'll trust you.
Definitely.
Then you have sleepless nights, not they.
Yeah.
They choose the doctor and come, and then they say that you do what, and then we say this is an option, that is an option. He said, I don't know anything. You think whatever is best for you.
Yeah.
So the biggest lesson in life is what I have learned is that if you make somebody responsible, you can sleep well.
Yeah. I've never actually thought about it that way, but it's very true the contrast that you say, because over here when we are taught about patient interactions, we're told always when taking histories do ice ideas, concerns, and expectations, and we're supposed to ask the patient, what do you think your the root cause of your issue is. So, compared to India, where the patient literally goes, this is your responsibility. I don't know anything. You've gone to school to treat me. So tell me what you're gonna do, and I'll take the medications as you say, as opposed to over here.
So tell me one thing, that you are a bundle of attribute at this stage, like every human being is. It's very difficult to trace every fiber of the bundle, but
Right.
we'll try to do it. Let us divide your life into three phases.
Mhm.
The phase when what you learned from your family, siblings, when you were still growing.
Yeah.
Then what did you learn after you became independent in college in Dubai or in King's College in London?
Yeah.
What you learn from environment and the people.
Yeah.
And how do you assimilate this learning into your pathway forward?
Right.
Is this a complex question?
A little bit, yeah. I think it requires a lot of reflection.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say that today what we are, or we appropriate any moment
Mhm.
with the collective wisdom
Right,
over a period of your journey.
right,
You learn skill sets, but you would never be able to tell, I learned this from so and so.
right.
So I have tried to put what are the possible places one could have learned, translated it for you.
Yeah,
One, you learn in the family and the people. They are mostly non-cognitive
yeah,
capabilities. How you are grown up, in what environment you are grown up. Then when you come to college, then you have a global exposure of whatever level
yeah.
you are. Particularly in Dubai, you will have a global, of course, a lot of Indians, but others too.
Right.
So you learn from them. And then
Yeah,
it's a mix, you are not to choose there. You learn bad things at this age, or you see bad things, you see good things. And that's where your predominance of what you learned in your family or your sanskara comes into way.
right.
And that's where you start creating. Look, I saw this, I saw that, but this is what I will do.
Yeah,
Is this clear now?
yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So tell me something which you feel you can use stories, examples, make it whichever way it is like.
Yeah,
It's a informal conversation with no objective.
yeah. So, if, for example, you're asking what did I learn from my friends and family in the initial few years, or at least with them, I think the main thing that I really appreciate the fact from them, from my parents in particular, is that I've seen the privilege that I have to be able to do what to be able to do what I do and to be where I am. And also sort of the usefulness of hard work. That's something that I would say is the main thing because from my parents at least, I have this behind me that I'm not sure if you're able to see it. This is
Can
something that
you read
my
it for me? What is that?
yeah, this is a quote that my
Yeah.
father
Can
always
you
says.
enlarge because we would like to record it?
Yeah, sweat hard in practice, not bleed in war.
Sweat
This
hard in practice, do not bleed in war. Very good. Where did you
my
get it?
my father. This is he always says this. I think once or twice every week he'll say this: sweat hard in practice, do not bleed in war. Because and that has been sort of like wherever I go,
Can
whether
you
it
can
is
you elaborate for the listeners of this because we are going to use these things. Can you explain to it to eighth standard person?
uh, work hard when you have the time, so that when there is a challenge in front of you, you don't have to work as much.
Okay. Is a long-term preparation for something.
Train when you don't have that pressure, so that when the time comes, when everything that you have learned, you have to apply that for your main sort of your main test in life. Then you're prepared. You don't bleed as much. That's why soldiers will, you know, train very hard
Yeah.
so that in the
Yeah.
battlefield.
Got it. Okay, that's great. And then what your friends taught you? I mean, say the exposure to college and when you
Mhm.
really at a very tender age to don't have a die cast, still you are in the process of learning.
Yeah, 100%. What did my friends teach me? I think my friends have just taught me the importance of friendship. My friends have taught me the importance of friendship because to illustrate my journey sort of in university in KCL, in fact, in first year, I was incredibly introverted. I was very introvert. I mean, I struggled to sort of go out and form those connections that you expect from normal university life. That started in second year when I had enough and I was like, I see everyone on Instagram sort of going out and having fun. Why am I not building those friendships? And I honestly am very grateful that I was able to build those friendships. But that's what I've learned from my friends, the importance of having a group that you can be with, and the importance of having people that you can trust. And that's sort of been my journey, where the main thing that I have learned from these people, the new people that I've met over here, is when you have other people, when you have friends, your life becomes so much more pleasant. I have sort of gone through
Is
the
there
period where I
anything
was lonely.
you can say that you were exposed to, but you said, no, I wouldn't go that route?
Supposed to, but not really. I think I have done all sides of university life, I would like to say, as part of my mission to not have any regrets. Look, my sort of idea is, down the line, after we graduate and we become doctors, there are expectations and there are responsibilities that are unlike other professions. You cannot take sick days randomly. You cannot just not turn up to hospital because people depend on you. So my point has been, do let me have as many experiences as I can in university when I do have the luxury of not having that responsibility. I don't like to say no to things. I like to sort of try them out myself, and then if I don't like it, I might not do it again. But I try to gain a holistic perspective, try to do everything.
And by and large, what's the environment in your college?
It's good.
Tell me
If
a little spectrum of students generally. How many are Britishers? How many are outsiders? How many Indian Britishers?
Yeah. So in terms of the split between home students and international students, there's a 7% caps. For example, KCL has a full cohort in a year of 400 medical students. 7% are internationals. So that's roughly, I think the figure is 28 or so are international students. The international students come
400,
from
I believe in two classes, two sections, or is 400
uh,
one?
in one year. So in one section in one year. Say, for example, the intake
400
would
of you in a common class sit in one lecture hall.
Yes, but full cohort lectures really used to happen in first year and second year. Now they don't happen anymore. But yes, when it was the case, there used to be sort of a massive group in that one lecture hall.
Yeah. And
So
yes, it's very interesting. So, uh, your friends are from everywhere, or you have a particular affinity for a particular nationality or something you find?
not really. No, I think I like to get to know people from all around. So in my friend group, I think I have we've got obviously people from Welsh, English, then so Indian British as well, South African, Polish, and then I know Hong Kongers. So all over is,
Right,
I think.
right.
Yeah.
See, when you got at King's College, it must be a wow moment for you.
Oh
And you
yeah.
recall
So,
that when you, because not easy to get to this is one of the institutions, I.
no, I'm proud of the work that I've done. It's simply that I know I put in the work, and I remember the day when because the way the entrance exam works is you get your um, results instantly. So you finish it, and outside at the
That is
table
a
they'll
British
print.
pattern, that's a very good pattern. Even FRCS, it is the
Oh,
same.
really?
Yeah, they just
Fantastic.
finish the exam and then you just are given congratulations to those.
Yeah.
There may be a lag of
Awesome.
1 hour or so, but the
Yeah.
congratulations to those others, they don't even mention.
Yeah. My God. I guess it's relatively more brutal, but I remember, I got those results, as you said, and I just shouted in front of my parents that I got it because I knew that with that
How do
score,
they do?
I
They
would
come
get
and
it.
announce before you guys sitting?
You get it in a letter. So basically, you finish your exam, then you go outside. You get a letter with your score printed out in it, handed to you, and
And how many of you were there? What is the ratio of people who were shortlisted to selected? 400?
I'm not sure. I think the acceptance rate, as far as I know, is around 15%,
Okay.
maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh,
think a lot of them are sort of filtered out from the stage where your scores are. So if your scores aren't high enough, they'll just filter them out. But a lot of people who get interviews will get.
tell me something about the system there. Are you aware of Indian system of medical education?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is there? How much is your exposure to didactics, hands-on research?
Uh, I think it's a lot more than, say, for example, India, because I've been able to compare and contrast because I have friends who studying in India, parents obviously from India. So uh, there is a greater emphasis on research. The emphasis isn't purely on marks, but it's a lot of there's an emphasis on your university experience.
Your
Then
curriculum or your day's schedule, is there a solicited time for research?
Yes. So, for example, Wednesdays, last semester, we were doing what's known as a SPM, so a special student project module. So that's, for example, a certain topic, and you do some work on it, and a lot of people will then down the line get that research published. So we get tied up with supervisors who will say, for example, give us a topic, do some teaching. Then a lot of people have done like reviews, literature reviews, and got them published. So we,
All structured, or you could be a freelance? Like I work a lot with Prokar Das Gupta.
yeah, professor.
So, say for example, if you know somebody, is it free for the system that you can go and work with anybody or no?
Yeah, I mean, say for example, from what I'm talking about in the SPM, no. So that's part of your formal curriculum. But otherwise, that's typically what I do. Professor Dasgupta is a fantastic mentor. I mean, so whenever I have some time, I just send him an email. So, are you doing any projects? And then, so he, if you are looking, you can just cold call and cold email
Okay,
and
you are
get
free
people to.
to find your own
Yeah,
research. And
absolutely.
what
That's
is
encouraged.
according to the area of your interest,
Sorry.
according to the area of your interest.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
What's your approach? Are you trying to look into all the specialties or you have set your heart? I want to see the dynamics of forming up that thought process.
Yeah. So in terms of specialties, it is surgery. So, going between medicine and surgery, medicine is completely on the other side. It's just surgery for me. Um, Within surgery, I'm sort of torn between two things, whether I want to do something that has a significant open surgery component or something that's sort of, minimally invasive. Because I tend to think quite early on about these things. I like to plan these bits and pieces out. And for example, we've got a lot of flexibility. For example, I just go to theater. I've been going to orthopedic theater because they do a lot of open surgery cases. So I do explore sort of what specialty I want to go into,
Mm-hmm.
and what might be more sort of attractive in the future. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still deciding. I
Okay.
think I've eliminated a few and a few that I am really interested in. So,
Okay. But I don't think, Raghav, there may be gradient grades, but
yeah,
there is no surgery specialty I know which is the minimal invasion is not creeping in.
yeah, 100%.
Everywhere this. So by the time you guys are there,
Yeah,
technology will be everywhere.
100%. I think I heard this quote from somebody that who said, "Technology will not replace doctors, but doctors who understand technology will replace those who don't.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right. Yeah. And that is nothing new. Why blame technology?
Yeah, 100%.
Take any time, if you don't hone your skills or reskill yourself, you would be outmoded. Word is not
100%.
going to wait for you.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, which is why I love KCL so much, is that we actually do get access to these. We have centers of excellence like Guy's Hospital, and we have people like Professor Dasgupta and the entirety of the urology department over here who are just so nice and so happy to have medical students shadow them. So I think, yeah, I've really enjoyed that tech component as well, and that's something that interests me quite a
But do
bit.
you go as a part of your surgical rotation to urology?
No, so this is just, unfortunately, we don't have that much exposure to surgery in our curriculum. So, for example, urology, I was just last year, for example, I had Thursdays half day or Thursdays off. I just used to go up to urology theaters and spend some time. So, there were a few surgeons that I got to know fairly well. Um, and I just used to spend time with them. They were really nice. Like, they, after the list was done, I could just go and use the Da Vinci system in simulator modes. Just, they're very encouraging. Go and have a feel for it. Go and have a try, so that you know what it really is like. So that's been fantastic.
Right, right. Tell me one thing more, that what is the
Mhm.
system after you graduate? When do you graduate from here?
So it's a 5 or 6 year course. So you can either do 5 years or you can do 6 years where you do a second degree. I'm doing 6 years. So next year I'll actually be doing a master's, and then I'll finish 2 more years of medical school.
Second degree is
After that,
second degree is
sorry,
what? Second degree is
uh,
what?
I'll be doing a master's. So you can either do a bachelor's or a master's. I'll be doing a master's in healthcare technology.
Okay.
Um, and after that, you do 2 years of your house job, so house officer kind of thing. Over here now
There's
they
no
call it a
internship. That is the internship, is it?
that is the internship. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So like in India, you have
What do
one
you
year of
do? You
internship.
work as apprentice in the departments or rotate or work in
Uh,
emergency, or where do you do?
Yeah, so you rotate. So, for example, you'll rotate. I think the most popular ones are, for example, for foundation jobs, which are basically internships. You'll do 4 rotations. So, I think the most popular ones they usually give you is psychiatry. Then you'll have something in acute care. Urology is very popular. General surgery is very popular. So, you'll do two. I think it's
This is
3 month.
mandatory requirement for your degree, isn't it?
Yes. So, you'll graduate as a doctor. But say, for example, I finished my degree in 2027 and I'm starting my first internship year. So, my first internship year, I have a provisional GMC registration. So, GMC is
Provisional, I
the
get it. I get
yeah.
it. But you would be able to practice only after 7 years or 8 years.
No, so you can practice after you have a full registration after 1 year.
Okay, it's
And
after
then
2 years, not
after
2 years.
1 year, no. So, the way it works is, for example, 2 years is sort of like the internship period. But after 1 year, your provisional registration converts to
You
full
can convert
registration.
into that.
Yeah. And so your prescribing rights, for example, will be now you can prescribe all medications as opposed
Right,
to
right. I,
fewer medications.
but still, you would be working under tutelage of some system or seniors.
Yeah, 100%. So after that, we
Mm.
have to, then there's a specialty sort of round
Mm.
where you will become a registrar then. So you'll have to apply and you'll either have to go through the core surgical training pathway or the internal medicine pathway. And then that lasts for around the same period as in the US for a residency period, about 7 years or so.
Okay, and then whatever you do, then your qualifying degree is membership or fellowship of the college.
FRCS, yes.
Yes, that's what. There's no other degree besides that.
No, so it's not like in India where you either do an MS or an MD.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's an FRCS. That's your postgraduate
And what
qualification.
happens to urology or any specialty after fellowship, or you can directly register for FRCS urology?
So after say, I think FRCS urology, for example, in all specialties, getting your FRCS is a prerequisite to becoming a consultant.
Okay, okay.
So you will FRCS your all, you get that, and then you can actually progress on and give your CCT, which the CCT is basically a certificate recognizing that you have competency to practice independently as a consultant in the UK.
Yeah.
And that's it, basically. After that, you can do fellowships and stuff.
Okay. What's your career trajectory? You have planned.
Do you mean plans? Again, I'm not sure.
I interrupted you. You were at surgery, you said. You are definitely
Yeah,
surgical route. And then you said the component of minimally and maximally invasive surgery was one of the
yeah.
disasters.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of them. I think the I've looked at it and just recognizing the future trends. There's definitely a lot more scope in sort of minimally invasive and robotic surgery because open surgery is really, even if it happens open today. For example, you look at cardiothoracics, right? Even if it happens open today, down the line it'll either be vascular or it'll be minimally invasive. There's a small use case for open surgery.
Right, right. By and by, the field is shrinking. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, what's your regular life schedule? How do you balance your personal time with the commitment to the college education?
Yeah. I like to sort of keep time out, specific time out to just go out and have fun, just because I know that again, it goes back to the same thing. I like to explore because my first year I didn't do it at all. And I only got the realization that I should have these experiences later on. So I like to have a very vibrant social life and a balance outside of school. So I dedicate when my working day to doing what I have to do, but after that, I love to cook, so I'll do that. I
Yeah,
like
you go to
tennis.
cooking. What dish? If I come to London, then what should be menu if I dine with you?
So I'll tell you. A few days ago, I
You
made
have a
a
cooking
full.
facility in your apartment here?
Yeah, I have a kitchen, so it's a shared kitchen. I share the whole
Okay,
place
yeah,
with. Yeah,
you have a drawer and you keep your stuff there, something.
yeah, massive. And so what I do a lot about a couple of weeks back, actually, I cooked a massive Indian buffet for all my sort of non-Indian friends so that they can know what Indian food is like. So I cooked palak chicken, and I
Mm,
cooked a prawn biryani, and I made chole, pindi chole, which is basically
mm,
like dhabe chole kind of
uh,
thing.
uh.
And so I'd cook that if you ever come to that.
And then you got rotis from outside or rice or
Yeah,
what?
naan bread. Yeah, roti is unfortunately the only thing I don't know how to make, and I think I'm very bad at it. And plus, the atta flour isn't readily available over here. So you can get naan bread though from the
Okay.
supermarkets and
And
rice.
then how many friends you invited?
9 in total. So it was 3 large dishes.
Okay. And is that all the meals you cook for yourself or only weekends?
Uh, no, so I do cook on weekends, but I typically sort of on weekdays I'll cook something quick, typically like eggs and bread or something. But if I do have time, I'll cook something a quick curry, for example, because I think yeah.
As much as
Uh,
not fancy for junk food and things like that, eating in.
no, it's basically two reasons. What I don't enjoy it that much, and plus Indian food, the food in general in London is, I think it's way overpriced and not very nice, not very good. I mean, I have a very bad sort of idea of the food over here. So I like to cook on my own.
Okay, good. What other hobbies? Anything else?
I like to read quite a bit.
So what,
Um,
tell me what's the best book you've read recently?
Best book I read recently. That'll have to be Agatha Christie book. So I'm a big Agatha Christie fan.
Okay.
I've recently finished as one of my I think it was third read or something. Hercule Poirot. He's the detective in her books. It's a murder mystery essentially.
Mhm.
Book's called ABC Murders, which is a it's a very interesting, very interesting book. Lots of twists.
And movies?
I am a very big fan of 90s Hollywood action and James Bond.
You mentioned in your
Oh
personal.
yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a big thing for me. In fact, that's something that my father also enjoys quite a bit. James Bond is a massive.
You watch still on Netflix or go to cinema halls or
Not so much cinema, not even Netflix. I just if there's something that interests me. But again, it's mostly sort of like 90s Hollywood action. So not so much the stuff that's coming out very recently, but from that period specifically.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So life is overall good, isn't it? How many siblings you have?
I have none. I'm an only child.
You're the only child. So how often you are able to visit your parents to Qatar?
I tend to go back once a year, and usually they'll also come over here once a year, so 2 visits basically. And so we go back to Qatar. We also try to go back to India so that I can meet with grandparents and uncles and aunties and stuff.
And how do you find life in Qatar?
It's very different. I would say that
Why Qatar, Japan? How do you compare?
it's very different. I mean, Qatar isn't your typical sort of it's not a city, for example, that you would visit for tourism, right? Compared to, say, I've lived in Dubai, I've lived in Mumbai, Japan. These are massive cities with lots of things to do,
Hmm.
lots of activities, very bustling. Doha, I mean, Qatar is a lot more quiet, a lot more subdued. I think I am not as much in love with the city, mainly because have spent very limited time there. Actually, my parents moved to Qatar just 3 months before I came to London. So I have not spent any of my high school over there. My high school happened entirely in Dubai, so I don't actually have any friends in Qatar or anything who have actually, can spend time with when I'm back there. So, I'm biased in the sense that I don't enjoy that the city in particular that much. But yeah, it's fine. I enjoy meeting my parents.
Any love for music?
Oh yes, big time actually. So I used to learn Indian classical music, and I did that for quite a long time when I was a high school student. So music 100%. Yeah.
And do you think so far your life is pretty smooth? Do you believe in manifestation?
Do I believe in manifestation? Not particularly. I think if you do work, if you work hard, that's what they say, right? The luck is for those people who work hard. So if you work hard, you'll be able to do it. I don't believe in manifestation as in, you imagine something. Yes, it's a very powerful idea. Dreaming is a very powerful idea because it sort of sets goals for you to work towards. And in that sense, yes, manifestation is very good, and I do believe it in that way. But I think if you manifest something without putting in the work for it,
Nothing happened. I agree
yeah,
with you, but definitely it brings you in alignment with the maximum energy to achieve your best potential.
yeah, 100%. I mean,
Because
manifestation
it
allows
takes
you
away
to,
the contradictions from you because most of things don't happen because you are yourself iffy.
yeah, 100%. It allows you to visualize your goals.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think any future, how would you decide the place you are going to settle down with your parents shown you every part of the world except for United States? What would be your
Uh,
criteria for deciding a place to settle down?
So, I mean, it's a very complex question. I think about it many times because there are considerations that I have to make. I'm an only child, so I want to ideally settle down with my parents somewhere down the line. Uh,
What are
in
their
terms
plans?
of,
They go back to India, or obviously
yeah,
they not going to settle in Qatar for sure.
yeah, no, not a chance. Probably
Maybe
India.
in
They'll go back.
Dubai or go back to India.
Yeah, Dubai, probably India, most probably India, back in Mumbai. I think so. For me, my main professional considerations, at least, I think the other stuff is way down the line. But at least for my immediate professional considerations, I'd like to stay away in London in particular because I have a very strong sort of innovation background. That's what I'm doing with my masters. I'm also involved in a lot of innovation focused society work. And I think London is a good center for a lot of healthcare innovation work. So in terms of my professional goals, I'd like to stay over here. I'd like to settle down at least for the next 10 years or so in London so that I can work both on a clinical practice and also on something that's innovation related.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Uh,
Thank you.
Now, with what toolkit, tell me, how did you said you came to know through Twitter about our announcement, is it?
No, actually, it was Professor Dasgupta. So he sent me a message saying that this is something that is going on that
Oh, I
Vattikuti is
never
doing.
knew that he sent it to you, is it?
No, he did. So again, so incredibly grateful because Professor Dasgupta has been like of just a mind-blowingly fantastic person who has been so helpful. Uh, and I've been able to do a lot more in robotics, and he's actually helped that passion. So he sent me an email saying, this is something that's going on, and if you're interested, you should go for it. And I had a look, and it was like, 3 days of robotic surgery. I was like, there is no chance I cannot apply for this. So it was, yeah.
Very good. Uh, so, what toolkit you are going to this exciting 3 days? What would be your agenda? What would you like to grab? Many things you won't be able to
Yeah,
envisage. What is your visualization of what's going to happen there, and
yeah.
through the happenings, how is going to impact your future life?
So I've seen what ORSI does, and I think it's essentially surgical training, robotic surgery boot camps. You go there for 3 days, you spend some time, you use some of the simulators, you have lectures on it, and you learn about the system. That's something that I'm very much looking forward to. But I really just want to get involved in this as a way to learn further, improve my own practical skills and my understanding of the system because I acknowledge this is the future. One of my sort of visions, and this is all sort of I would say far-fetched thinking, but something that I do want to do because I've been involved in the society work over here. I really am passionate about bringing robotic surgery to medical students. I want more people to know that this is a technology that exists, and
Great,
I want more people to know that this is a technology that exists in the backyard because basically, Guy's Hospital is like a minute from where I live. And so what I want to do is when I spend those 3 days over there at ORSI, I want to see how do they deliver a program for medical students? What are they teaching? What are the objectives that they are setting about for us? What do they think is necessary knowledge for us? And then I would hopefully like to come back over here and at least explore whether we can use some of the facilities over here to implement a smaller program locally as well. So, that's something that I really want to do because it's at the start of this academic year, that was one of my pet projects, which couldn't just take off. But I wanted to sort of use this opportunity not only to learn a bit more myself, but also learn about how you implement such a program for medical students.
besides the robotics, anything excites you
Do you mean
there in this Ghent program?
in this? Oh, visiting Belgium, I think that'd be very exciting.
Hmm?
I mean, besides the
Besides robotics, is
yeah,
there anything else which excites you visiting Belgium?
yeah, I think just exploring the place, exploring the place, meeting new people because I know there'll be
Uh,
seven
That is
other
what
medical
I was
students.
coming to, that meeting new
Yeah,
people, because
yeah,
diverse cultures, and you are fortunate that every country is represented. You name,
yeah.
I don't think you know the people selected. Do you?
I don't, but I know the breakup. So it's Turkey, US, India, Italy, and Romania, I think, and England, counting me.
Yeah, yeah, right. And Nepal also, I suppose, if I'm not mistaken. No, may not
Oh,
be.
really?
Yeah,
Right.
I think so. So that is something which is so fascinating to conceive because all these medical schools have different systems.
Yeah.
Medical students, unlike humanities students, are not that much outgoing. They are so busy and rat-holed into what they are doing. So this would be an opportunity to have a cross-pollination of ideas. There would be
100%.
hardcore curriculum things you guys can't change, but there would be a lot of things outside the curriculum you can change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
think
just
that's pretty exciting as far as I
very, yeah. Actually getting to meet new people and getting to know their perspectives themselves is just fantastic. That's something that I really want to do because you tend to
one thing
form
we
bubbles
want
when,
to work with you guys.
sorry?
One thing we want to work with you guys. I'm not
Mhm.
telling that exclusivity, but is what you call that 1 minute. So is that you are our ambassadors, is our first program of explorers.
Mhm. Yeah,
And we want to build a real rainbow multinational community of medicos.
yeah.
And you guys will have to really take leadership role
Oh, 100%.
because we are not going to spoon feed you at this level. We
Yeah,
will be at your back, we'll support like ORSI has 600 members. I
yeah,
want 60,000 members as a Vattikuti Explorers.
yeah.
Because then only we
100%.
can really make influence. There are two things in
Yeah,
life. Either you are all the time influenced by others and role models, or you
yeah,
become an influencer.
yeah.
I am looking forward to this group truly be influencer in wherever they work to bring in a radical
100%.
change into
Yeah,
the systems.
yeah.
And it's not
No,
a
this is,
unionism. It is really trying to
yeah,
be trying to be focused, learn things, have
yeah.
logic, and convince people that you look, this what you are doing is nonsense.
No, 100%. And I think, that's so great because even when you look at King's Vattikuti, the institute that we have at Guy's Hospital, problem is for this opportunity, explorers in particular, I am sure very few people in my cohort actually know about it.
Yes,
And what would,
that's what I was telling.
yeah,
This another thing, Raghav, you'll have to really figure out that
yeah,
there are people who are excited like you,
yeah,
but we have limitations of hitting those targets.
right,
People go to social media, but they go with a totally different mindset,
right,
TikTok mindset or something like that. And they really miss this. So one thing I'm looking for is that when you are even now and there, because we will again
yeah,
have a conversation with everybody and we'll give you a common kit. And currently you are representing King's College or All India Institute or Zipmer Pondicherry, or for that
right,
matter, Padova University. But once you go there, I want you to be a cohesive Vattikuti branded explorer group, keeping your
100%.
identity.
Absolutely.
And then you have to really work with them and try to see that in Jaipur we have a program which you don't know because I don't know whether we were clear or not. See, basically, our main objective is to build a community, as I said, of
Right.
medical.
Yeah.
Then we have given a sample program which came in that really it goes.
Yeah.
So explorers would have the advantage of such programs done by us and others.
Yeah.
Then we want to be facilitator for a continued interaction, a meaningful interaction Not
Yeah.
that your salaries are higher and my salary. No, there are different forums. It's
Right.
totally on your career path how you could be there. And
Yeah.
then, like you are fortunate to have Prokar Gupta, but others may not be. So
Yeah.
we act as a catalyst to connect you to the mentors of Prokar-like people across the world because
Exactly.
it's a huge network
Yeah.
to work with
Exactly.
you so that you really directly get channelized to the area of your interest.
100%. Yeah. This is, it's a very, very important thing because when you look at it, medical students, even if they are passionate, often don't know where these opportunities lie. And just, increasing awareness, for example, at King's locally, increasing awareness that there is a Vattikuti Institute over here that is tied up with the
Yeah, yeah,
university.
yeah. So
That's
now,
key.
yeah, where did you come to know about this vertical? Is it on the website or it's
Oh,
still
I learned about it on LinkedIn. So it's
linked?
King's Vattikuti Institute. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See, now I'll tell you another thing that uh, what is the mode of communication for you between your college students?
Mostly through Instagram. So I have that experience because I was uh, part of my hats that I wore this year was president of the KCL Surgical Innovation Society. So we do a lot of these things of sort of telling medical students we're doing these events, this is what is happening, this is what King's Health Partners is doing, etc., etc.
You
And the
don't have
best
any
way to reach
internal WhatsApp group or newsletter or
we
anything?
do, yes. So we have, so our three main modes of contact is Instagram, WhatsApp, and there's a Medical Students Association newsletter that goes out
Okay.
um, every week.
So I think we will let you know, but since your call, let me tell you, we are planning a big event for you guys in Jaipur.
Yeah,
And we are having a prize and competition for the innovative research project.
yeah,
And once you do that, because only limited number of people would be able to be invited there, but we would like, to
yeah,
compete with, and part of them would be five people from ORSI, Junior ORSI, which I've
right,
committed to them, and then about 10 people we'll have from our competition. So,
right,
and that is what I want a word of mouth to be spread over so that we have the best innovative ideas. And definitely,
100%.
we'll have to work with the people with your ideas so that your project becomes competitive.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think that is what is in my mind.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of, since London is one of the centers where a lot of this healthcare innovation happens, not only King's, but even at UCL and Imperial, there are courses that students are doing in surgical innovation and surgical technology, and they would be very interested in what Vattikuti is doing and the conference in Jaipur as well. And we certainly have the instruments to reach out to them and increase that awareness so that you really have the creme uh, that goes and has participates in your competitions. And I think that's certainly something that we can do.
Okay, then I am formally pretty done. We had a very good conversation, but if you have any questions or anything now or later, you are most welcome. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you for your time, sir. I mean, these are opportunities that are so unique and very, very far and few and far in between. So, getting them and even having the opportunity to actually spend an hour with you talking about all of this is just a massive privilege. There's no need for you to thank me. I should be thanking you.
Okay, we'll be in touch, Raghav, and all the best
100%.
as you keep
Thank
on
you so much.
with your enthusiasm.
I will.
Just preserve one baby, and that is your enthusiasm. Rest will all fall in line. Moment
Absolutely.
you become listless and life is not in negative, it is around everywhere negativity is. So
Yeah.
keep that up and we'll connect.
100%. Thank you
Be,
so much.
be communicative and Sarika will be in touch with you again. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.